Hello there and welcome to episode 10 of the development log series of my Minecraft mod, the iljaTech mod. In case you forgot about it, I will recap a bit what happened last time since it's already 3 months ago. Yeah, that's right, I'm sorry about that. I got a little bit busy in uni work and then I went on vacation, but now I'm back. So if you remember last time we made these coke ovens, and with the coke ovens you can of course make the coke and the creosote oil. But of course if you forgot about that or if you haven't watched episode 9, then make sure to take a look at that. So last episode I mentioned that when the coal is done, it will kind of get shot out of the oven, and then you can make your own item collection in front. For example, a railway with a hopper mine cart or a water stream that picks up the items. But I also wanted to add the own new option in the tech mod, so something that feels a little bit more technical. And that's why in this episode we're gonna be adding the conveyor belts, and they look just like this. Alright, so these conveyor belts, you can also of course place them in different orientations. And I wanted, of course, my mod has a... Oh, there's some stuff in there. So the style of the mod is of course very blocky, and that's why I wanted the conveyor belts to also be a full block. And the reason that they are full blocks is also because I think it ties in better with the mechanical energy system, so that you could power it mechanically like this, and you could attach a crank or a shaft or something to these full blocks. Of course, some mods have like a flat conveyor belt that just lays on the ground, and that way it's easy to make diagonals because you could do like what the rail does and make it diagonal like that. But for a full block, I really had to think how could I make it diagonal as well. But I think I came up with something that works okay. So if you just keep going forward and then put another block on top of it, it will form a diagonal conveyor belt just like this, made out of half slabs. So I think that's nothing too crazy, and I also went ahead and started programming it already, as you can see. So you can power a whole row of belts all at once just by a single crank like this. And let me grab some coke from the oven to demonstrate. The movement right now is very choppy, as you can see, so that's definitely something I want to work on in this episode. So I hope you're ready for a kind of logistics episode. And of course, there's not only going to be conveyor belts which move items, but also pipes that move the fluids. So the pipes are going to be made out of steel, and the pipes you can place them in any orientation, and you can just kind of connect them to each other, just like this. But how do you get water into the pipe? Well, to understand that, we're gonna have to briefly go into physics, and don't worry, I won't bore you with the details, but for liquids to move through a pipe, they need pressure. And you can add pressure either by a pump, which is a machine that pressurizes the fluid through a pipe, or for gases, you're gonna need a compressor, or in our case, we can use gravity because, for example, what they used to do back in the day, they used to have these water towers, and they used to have water in a very high tower, and the hydrostatic pressure would allow the water to, flow through the pipe and go everywhere it needs to go. Also, as you can see, I got the pipes to work, so I put water above the funnel block, and then all the way through the pipes, you see that the water is dripping out on this end. And if I grab a cauldron real quick and connect it here, you can see that it starts filling up, which is going to be super useful for the steam generation in this mod. So I will of course make the funnel not too strong, so it won't be able to go very much up vertically, because then of course you would need a pump to pump up the liquid. And because steel is a little bit hard to get in this mod, like you first have to build the coke oven and get cokes, and then you need to crush the coke and iron and fire it in the foundry, and then you get steel bloom, and then you're still gonna have to hammer that into steel ingots. So because of that, I was brainstorming some alternative pipes, like maybe some wooden ones, or I even thought about some bamboo channels that could have the water flowing through them. But eventually my Discord server discussed and we settled on the idea of clay pipes. So you would need to fire it above the campfire, and after a random amount of time it would convert to the terracotta pipe, just like this. And this is kind of inspired by those pottery mechanic that was shown during Minecon Live sometime. So the terracotta pipes could have some pretty unique properties compared to the steel pipes. So the steel pipes would maybe become rusty if there's water or steam inside of it, or when it's exposed to the rain, but the clay pipe would never become rusty. And therefore it would be perfect to the early game when you have to transport water, but when you don't have access to stainless steel yet. And also it's gonna be able to transport some early game fluids like the creosote oil maybe and some seed oils, but it's not gonna be able to withstand any hot fluids like lava. And also later maybe I add some chemicals, and of course those chemicals are gonna need the steel pipes. Also some ideas include that the clay pipes might fall and break if the fluid inside of it becomes too heavy. But of course, I think that has been enough about the pipes, and I really want to show the conveyor belts as well, because I'm super proud I got them working. Here you can see it in action. I will say this was pretty difficult to get it working correctly, and I had to ask help a few times. So I'm very satisfied that it works in the end. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and found it a bit entertaining and interesting, and I will see you again in the next one. But for the next one I have a special episode planned, because this is episode 10 and I want to do something special after that to celebrate. So please look forward to that and I will see you there.